Welcome to the November 5th episode of the Workhorse Sports Podcast. This one will be one of the Workhorse shorts. Just going through the college football games today that I'm playing, what the picks are, reasons behind it. We'll have a longer podcast tomorrow with both myself and Jonathan on there. But for the time being, we'll just hit up these couple of games. Couple of big games today. Number 1 versus number 2, or 1 versus 3, depending on which poll you're using. And then Alabama LSU, which would be a big game regardless of the rankings. But LSU kind of snuck up there to 10, probably just to fuel a little bit of excitement for that game today. The first one we'll hit up is Michigan Rutgers. Michigan's given up 26 to Rutgers. I don't foresee Michigan not being able to score touchdowns again this week like they couldn't do last week. Rutgers, the only thing I see maybe being a potential issue is drop-off from last week. A lot of nonsense going on between Michigan and Michigan State. Being at Rutgers, maybe a letdown spot, but I don't see Rutgers scoring 21, and I don't see Michigan scoring less than 40 in this game. So giving up 26, I think it'll be something right around 38-7 of spread. I just don't. Yeah, Michigan giving up 26 is the play, regardless of those other circumstances. I don't think that'll hinder this team. What'll happen is that it's already predicted. Michigan, Ohio State being the game that decides who's going to the playoff, who's going to the Big Ten championship, who's beating whoever comes out of the West, because the West is not going to put up any kind of fight. Clemson and Notre Dame. Clemson is giving up 4 at Notre Dame. I'm rolling with the Tigers. Couple of podcasts, radio shows, other TV that I've watched have indicated that Notre Dame is going to be putting up a fight. It's at Notre Dame. They'll get up for this game. They're still Notre Dame players. I agree with that, but if you are betting against Clemson similar to Bama, probably not in the right there. So yeah, I'm taking Clemson, giving up 4 at Notre Dame. Iowa getting 4 against Purdue. I don't see a way that Purdue scores a lot in this game. Iowa's not good. Purdue's not good. So I'm taking the team that's getting more than a field goal in this matchup. Purdue losing to Syracuse at Syracuse, shooting themselves in the foot in that one. Syracuse is overrated. Iowa's a solid football team that can't score a whole lot. So you're going to give me 4 points for them. The defense can score on its own. I think as the season goes on, Iowa finds ways to get a little improvement, get field goals here and there, touchdowns here and there, and especially against a team like Purdue. They're not Michigan. They're not even Illinois or anyone else that Iowa's played. They're just not on that same level. Liberty and Arkansas over 63. So you're telling me that we're going to have Liberty going into Fayetteville, 63 between those teams. Arkansas puts up points. Jefferson's a madman at quarterback. Liberty, Hugh Freeze coming back after his stint at Arkansas. 63 points, not too much. But one thing I've kind of come to do over time is if you see a high number, you go higher. If you see something super low, still take the under. I started doing that more with the service academies when you'd see the over under or the total, if you call it that, in Army Navy. It was always low. It always went lower. If you're betting on Alabama playing Oregon, it's going to be higher. Just the way it usually plays out. I'm taking the over in that 63. you're thinking Liberty's a solid program. They're not going to worry about Arkansas being in the SEC. Arkansas is not doing great, but they can still score points. I'm seeing the 40 to 32, 40 to 28 type of game, and 40-28 covers that. Lastly, the big two for this week, LSU, Alabama. LSU getting 13 in Death Valley against Alabama. I'm taking LSU. This goes against what I said about Clemson. And, usually just betting against Alabama is not the right call. This is not the same Alabama team. I think LSU is better than the team that played Florida State. I think they shot themselves in the foot to the effect of not being able to do anything against Tennessee when you fumble the opening kickoff, when you give up, you basically spot them 14 points to a team that no one can stop on offense. When you do that, you're not going to win. Getting 13, if they play solid out the gate, if you lose by less than 2 touchdowns, you're covering that spread. Do I think they can win outright? They can. Do I think they're going to? Probably not. But if you're giving me 2 touchdowns, I'm taking a technically top 10 team if you're giving me 2 touchdowns. Lastly, Georgia, Tennessee. I'm not picking a winner in this game, but I am going to take the over 66. Georgia, you saw what they did to Oregon, but you also saw what they did against Missouri. They are capable of putting up points. They're capable of giving up points. Tennessee, their defense is solid against the run, but I also think there's just no way anyone's stopping that offense. You just have to outscore it. 66 points. Game ends up being 38 to 32. That covers that. If the game ends up being 45 to 24, that covers it. So I'm thinking that's what's going to happen in this game. Like I said, high number, you go higher. So those are the 6 games for today that I'm playing. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like, share, follow Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and make sure you read the blogs that we're putting out there every day. We'll be back tomorrow for a lengthier podcast, going over some NFL stuff, recapping these college games, potentially talking about an Astros World Series, going over maybe some more just veteran stories, or also just random stuff that's happening in life. We'll try and do a little more ad-libbing with that type of stuff. It's a little easier when I'm with someone that I can have a discussion with instead of staring at a computer talking to myself, essentially. But hopefully I'm not talking to myself. Hopefully we got a couple people out there in listener land paying attention. Let me know about those picks, just so you're aware too. I don't have the exact data in front of me, but we were about 55% on our college picks from last week. So not great, definitely not bad. We're in that good range. Hoping to stick there, if not touch on greatness with these picks, but I'll be happy with a 4-6 or 4 out of 6 or 3 out of 6 this week, because this slate's pretty tough. That Clemson game, that LSU game, that Tennessee Georgia game, there's a lot that can go on in those games that is hard to predict. So 50% on these picks would be that'd be a success, especially after last week. So appreciate y'all. Like I said, make sure you follow us on social media and listen, and definitely provide us with feedback so we can know what we can do better. Appreciate everyone.